Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed my video on how to see all your network information within the command prompt. Go check out that video. Today I'm going to make a video about, this is actually going to be a follow-up to my previous video. Excuse me if I sound a little bit tired. I went swimming today, and swimming always takes it out of me, makes me tired. So if I sound a little tired in this video, that's why. But anyway, this video is going to be a follow-up to a video I made, I think about a year ago, or I can't even remember when I made this video. A video entitled "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff." This follow-up to that video is going to be titled, Do the Best You Can. Okay, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of the video. So, okay, when you get to be, when you get to be a certain age, let's say, 25, just, for example, you have to start taking responsibility for your stuff. Now, taking responsibility, that can mean anything at all, because there's many variables there, and many factors there. Taking responsibility for your stuff can mean can mean pretty much anything, from let's say remembering to grab something, or taking responsibility. There's many different ways to take responsibility, and when you're a kid, you have your parents do everything for you, and you're fine and dandy because, you get money from them, you get food from them, everything is taken care of. And, I graduated in 2010, and, I'm 25, and I lived with my mom until I was 19, and I'm definitely learning a lesson in being an adult, and also part of being an adult is taking responsibility. Now, again, taking responsibility can mean a great deal different things. There's not necessarily, there's not just one particular thing. Granted, we all have responsibilities as adults, and sometimes we forget those responsibilities, for whatever reason. The thing to do, is, if you're like myself, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm autistic. I have autism. But I am a very I'm what you call high functioning autistic. So some of my friends would even say, as a joke, a little bit too high functioning. But my friend Harold said that this year. But what I want to say in this video, the short of it, is do the best you can with what you have. Sure, somebody might give you, let's say, a responsibility. Let's say, okay, here's a prime example. At your job, you have a responsibility to act professional. You have a responsibility to do that job, and if you don't do that job, your ass is going to be fired. So, therefore, you are not taking responsibility. You are not doing your responsibility. Because you have a job, and it is your responsibility to do that job. It's your responsibility to remind, or it's your responsibility to remember to do things. It's your responsibility to remind said person. Responsibility, it's your responsibility to take responsibility for whatever responsibilities you have. Try saying that 3 times fast. Responsibility as an adult, sometimes, for example, if you have to remember something, sometimes we forget, and I'll tell you something here and now. That happens to every one of us. Every single one of us. So I'm telling you, I mean, we all struggle with responsibility, but it's not another person's responsibility. Excuse me, it's not another person's responsibility. It's your responsibility and your responsibility alone. Now, please don't take that out of context. I mean this in its most positive sense. I don't mean this in a negative sense. I'm not meaning it disrespectfully. I'm just being 100% real. But the fact is, we all have responsibilities, and sometimes we struggle with those responsibilities, and I mean, that happens to every single one of us. But the worst thing that you can do, the absolute worst thing that you can do is beat yourself up. That is the worst thing that you can do. Nobody should ever beat themselves up just because they didn't follow through with their responsibility. That's the worst thing that you can do is beat yourself up. And the other thing too is that there's always a chance. There's always you can always do better next time. And this can be said for more than just responsibility. This can be said for anything. There's always, almost 99.9% of the time, I'm not saying in all cases, but in most cases, there's always a chance to do better. Some cases, not so much, but in most cases, there's always a chance to do better. And if you're like me, there's a lot of people that are worse off than you. And as long as you try your best, you try like heck and you give it your all, you give it 100%, 200%, 300%, whatever percent, you give it that amount of percent, and you try and try and try, and as long as you do the best you can, and try as best you can, then you're doing pretty darn well. And I think I'm doing pretty darn well. And I wanted to send, I actually wanted to make this video for a while, because, it's honestly, sometimes it's tough being an adult. That's what I'm finding. It's not all it's cracked up to be. But it's funny. When you're a kid, you say, oh, well, when I grow up, I'll be able to do this and do that and do whatever I want, and nobody will say anything. Well, it's actually the other way around. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but there's rules, regulations, and responsibility. The 3 R's. So being a grown-up isn't all it's cracked up to be. But at the same time, I mean, it has its pros and cons. So I mean, but like with everything else, but responsibility is sometimes a tough one. But don't beat yourself up, because I mean, because you can always try to do better. In most cases, there will be a next time for you. You will get a chance. There will be a chance for you to redeem yourself, to do better with responsibility. Because the fact of the matter, and I'll leave you with this: the fact of the matter is, we all struggle with responsibility, especially adults. A lot of adults struggle with responsibility, so it's just something that you have to continuously work on. Responsibility is a continuous practice, as I've said in many videos before. So just keep trying, and as long as you do the best you can, then I would say you're doing pretty darn good. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below. Subscribe to my channel as well. Check out my 2 latest videos. This one is going to be entitled Do the Best You Can, and my other one, Let's Learn DOS. There's going to be another lesson in DOS, I think. I think tomorrow. I don't know. I have to do some research on the next lesson. So, but I mean, that's so it's coming soon. So stay tuned for that as well. And comment if you like this video in the comment section. I really want to hear your thoughts. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys again soon.